Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to take a look at Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Dispensor. This is actually a Transformer that didn't appear in Age of Extinction. It's one from the first Transformers movie. It's very briefly seen in the battle in New York and is based on a Mountain Dew drinks dispenser. Here the drinks dispenser has actually been changed into a van, but the robot mode looks fairly similar to the figure that you see in the film. The packaging for this, I would say, is probably some of the worst packaging around at the moment. Because it's a sort of half made up Transformer, the artwork of the Transformer on the front is dreadful. It's a really bad sort of artistic interpretation of the figure. It's just a very poor bit of artwork. Whoever's done that really doesn't do a very good job at illustration. That could be so much better. But the figure inside looks actually pretty good. As you can see, this is a Japanese issue version of the figure, and it's in the movie advanced set of figures out there. On the back it just shows the figure in both modes and some of the other available figures in this line. So let's get this figure open and then we'll see what it looks like. So here we have Dispensor straight off the card, and straight away it just feels a little bit cheap. The plastic feels quite sort of cheap and nasty, which is a little bit of a shame when you spend sort of 10 or 15 quid on a figure. The paint job initially looks okay. It's got quite a nice sort of detail on it. It says Mood Whiplash on the top here and some drinks sort of images on the side. This is a replacement for the Mountain Dew logo that was featured in the movie. And that's really about it for paint job. There's a Decepticon logo on the front and a bit of paint on the windows, but no sort of dirt or detailing or anything. It's just a fairly plain and simple paint job. The sculpt is quite nice, lots of sort of detailing everywhere, but without a decent paint job on top, it just has that sort of cheap plastic feel to it. The accessory weapon, as you can see here, doesn't have anywhere to go in robot mode. It's in the instructions, it just says to clip it on the side of the vehicle like that, but that just looks a bit naff. It would have been nice if it was sort of hidden somewhere inside it or incorporated a little bit better into the vehicle mode, but as it is, it's just sort of an add-on on the side. So let's go ahead and transform this into the robot mode and we'll see what it looks like. The change to robot mode is fairly straightforward, and with a little bit of sort of fiddling you can actually get him to stand reasonably well, but the big flaw in this figure is the large action feature that sticks right out of his back, as you can see here. This is a sort of clasping mechanism that springs out of the front of him, and as you can see, it's really tough to actually get to work. There you go, working now. It's just awkward and makes the figure really bulky. It's either sticking out of his front like that or sticking out the back of his chest like so. It would have been much better just not to have that mechanism in there. The figure itself, you know, looks reasonable from the front, but if you're going to display it, he's got to stick miles out from anywhere because of this thing sticking out the back of him. The figure does still feel quite flimsy and cheap. The plastic used just seems a bit sort of on the brittle side, and it looks just doesn't look very good, and again could have done with a far better paint job on him. It's a real shame, because figures like this that are sort of background characters, you know, you hope that they put a little bit of effort into them, but obviously they don't. It's just another cheap figure to them to produce, which is you know, a very disappointing thing. Overall, I'm not particularly impressed with this figure. It looks all right, but you know, nothing quite fits together properly in transformation mode. Everything feels a little bit flimsy, and it just doesn't look finished off enough, which is a real shame. So if you're a collector out there, you might want to get this just to complete your collection, but if you're just buying characters on a whim, this is one I probably would avoid. It's not the best of Transformers, but you know, it still looks reasonable. Thanks for watching.